All right. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Sunday night about midnight, 11:58 p.m. Let's see. We're doing Sunday evening streaming. Let's see. We're gonna do language, contract language discussion, and doing some programming. Watch here. Alright, cool. Now let's just make sure that's actually working. Okay, that is. Alright. Alright, so I guess the first thing is I had one of my calls yesterday, Saturday, or was it Friday? Friday or Saturday, I had a phone call from an Atova agent that had a question about some language that another agent had put in their RE10. So we represent the buyer, and we submitted some repair requests on an RE10, and then the seller, via the listing agent, responded with an RE10 of their own, and then the Atova agent called me with a question. And the situation was there's some windows in the home that the seals are compromised, and so there's moisture in between the two panes, and we had requested in our client's RE10 that the seller service. I don't know exactly which ones they were, but we'll just say it's the window in the family room, and the window in the dining room, and the window above the sink in the kitchen. So there was three specific windows, give or take, that we asked for the seals to be repaired. And so the language that we used was specific in that regard. We had said the window in the living room, the window in the dining room, and the window above the sink to have their seals repaired. And the details here might not be correct. That's not important, so it's just an example. So we had in our language requested that these three specific windows have their seals repaired, and and there were some other things that we requested as well. Now the listing agent in their RE10 response said, and this is their language now. Their language back to us is simply stated, seller to have windows repaired, period. Seller to have windows repaired. And then the agent went on and responded to the other items as well. So it's going to come. I think the language that I used with the Atova agent when I spoke with them on Friday or Saturday, whenever it was that it comes down to intended language versus the actual language. So what does that mean? So intended language versus actual language. So the actual language on this RE10 that the listing agent provided us said seller to have windows repaired. Now that actually says seller to have windows repaired. And so that can most certainly be argued to mean all the windows, right? And also it can be argued to mean not just the seals on the windows, but anything else that might be wrong with those windows at all. So in this particular case, there were some latches that were either missing or broken or something. And there could be water damage, or there could be paint that's peeling. There could be any myriad items that could be wrong with the windows. And when the language from the agent says seller to have windows repaired, that's a pretty broad blanket, right? So the Atoba agent called me and said, "Hey, Steve, this agent responded, and they said simply, seller to have windows repaired. So doesn't that mean now that our client, the buyer, can now hold the seller responsible for making all the windows in the home perfect? Repair everything that's wrong, including the not only the broken seals, but also the broken latches and anything else that's wrong with the property." And that's honestly, that's a fair interpretation of what the language actually says, right? So the language actually says seller to have windows repaired. So our expectation is that everything's going to be repaired with all the windows. Now, the flip side of that is the intended language, right? So the agent in saying seller to have windows repaired, or seller to repair all windows, actually it was a seller to have windows repaired. Um, I believe that the listing agent's intention in that language was not to offer us more than what we asked for. It was rather that statement is a reflection of them agreeing, or them intending to agree with what we had asked, right? So they're saying, yeah, we'll do the windows. So we said, hey, please repair the seals on these three windows. And his language response to us was intended to mean, okay, yes, we will fix the seals on those three windows. So the intent of his language is different than what the language actually says. And so, what do we do in that instance, right? So, it's like our client's in a really nice position now where they can say, ooh, hey, cool, we can sign this, and now we can, hold the seller's feet to the fire and make them fix everything. And yeah, I mean, that's a position that our client can choose to adopt if they so choose. However, the it's important to acknowledge the fact that we're in the middle of a transaction, and if we um, if we adopt a strategy which is designed to hold the seller to the letter of the law with regard to the actual language, the words that their agent used, as opposed to acknowledging what their intention was, you're just setting yourself up for, not only an adversarial transaction, but potentially a transaction that has not potentially, definitely a transaction that has a greater risk level now of dying. Because, if I was the seller, and, I responded back and said, hey, yeah, we'll take care of the windows, where my intention was pretty clear to be agreeing with what your request was, and then you turn my words around back on me, and now you're making me do all this other stuff that I really didn't intend to do. I'm going to feel, taken advantage of. And yeah, sure, I should have been more precise with my language, but you're really being, disingenuous, Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer. You're taking advantage of the fact that my language wasn't as precise, or my agent's language wasn't as precise as it should have been, and now you're backing me into a corner to get me to do more work than you're backing me into a corner to get me to do more work than you even asked me to do. It's just sellers in those circumstances, anybody in those circumstances, when they're being backed into a corner, what do? You fight, right? You fight to get out of that corner. So, yeah, our client could, if they choose, elect to hold that seller to the actual language and say, we want all the seals repaired, we want all the latches repaired, we want any cosmetic damage repaired. You agreed to repair the windows. And because remember that RE10s don't stack, right? It's not like the first RE10 that we sent over and the new RE10 that they replied with. Those both aren't going to be part of the contract. The RE10 that we sent over that's buyer signed is never going to be signed by the seller, so that's not a part of it at all. So the language that we used when we said, hey, please replace or repair windows A, B, and C, that language is not a part of the contract at all. All we have is the RE21 and the RE10 that the agent sent over. And the RE21 makes no reference to the Windows stuff at all. We didn't even know about it yet. And so all we have is the RE21 and then the RE10 from the listing agent that says seller to have windows repaired. And so, from an actual language standpoint, our client would be within their full right to tell that seller, hey, we want everything fixed now. Just what cost, does that come at? Because that person's going to feel backed into a corner and they're going to fight. It's going to create transactional risk, and is it really worth it? So the advice to the client is essentially, yes, we can do that, but do you want to? Acknowledging the fact that there's secondary risk that's created, whether it's contractual risk or default risk. There's risk that's created because you're backing this person into a corner. They didn't use precise language, and now you're leveraging that to get more than you originally asked for. That's going to cause some hurt feelings at the very least. So, and at the very worst, it's going to result in the seller saying, "Oh, okay, well, if you're going to play it that way, then take a hike. I'm not going to sell you my house. Sue me if you want to, but I'm not showing up to the closing table. I'm not going to sell my house to somebody that treats me that way. So forget it. Sue me if you want, but I'm not selling you my house." And then what do you got? You have a larger problem. So you tried to eke out, an extra $100, $200 in repairs, and it ended up costing you the whole deal. So, yeah, I think it comes down to advising clients to, what their options are, but to not just say, oh yeah, we can do this if you want. Make sure that our clients always understand what the secondary or tertiary impact of their decisions might be so that they can make decisions based upon the full potential of the different outcomes, as opposed to just having this narrow view. Let's see. So last week we talked about how I was going to update the section here, this Broker Daily section, to have the date, and then the second column is going to be, like right now we're 4, 5, 6 minutes into this video, into this stream, and we have that little intro topic. And so that's my intention with videos moving forward, is every time I stream, I'll have some intro topic, and then I'll move into the longer project that I'm working on. And so if you are wanting to just check in and get that intro topic and watch, the streams for 4 or 5 minutes each day, or every time I stream, then because there'll be a second column up here, the date and then a time, and the time will be if the intro topic lasted 4 minutes and 45 seconds, it'll say 4:45. So you have the date of the stream, 4:45, which tells you how long that intro topic was for. So if you click on it and you only want to watch the intro topic, you know how long that segment is. And then at the third column, we're going to have the longer topic. So today, for example, is 11:25, and we're going to just pretend for now that it was 4 minutes and 55 seconds long. And then our topic is programming. Okay, so because the programming that we're going to do is we're actually going to work on the code to change this to 3 columns and add that timestamp in the second column. So to do that, we're going to go to remote desktop, and we're going to log in. This is connecting to the server. So this is the server that that our websites are hosted on. So we're going to open up Visual Web Developer. Visual Web Developer. Maybe Visual Web Developer is already open. No, it is not. So why do we not have Visual Web Developer opening? I don't know. Let's try here. There we go. That shortcut might be broken. We'll check that later. For now, we're going to open up. Actually, I want to check Atova here. And once we've opened up Atova, so we have it loading the project, it'll be interesting because you have we have here, this is this little white box, and then this white box, and this white box. All the white boxes have data in them. I believe, actually, I know lead distribution is database driven. We have a tool that we use to register the leads. And I think Broker Daily is just raw coded. And let's take a look here. So that's the Atova store. There's the dashboard. Broker Daily. So it must be an embedded file. So let's take a look. So dashboard. It must be down here. Okay, so I'm going to do a Control F, and let's find daily. Okay, so here is the div that starts. That's a 40% div, and it's floated left. So, and right before that, we have the brokerage updates. So brokerage update, boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. So then Broker Daily right here. So this is where it starts. This is the opening div, and then we have our content, and then we should have a closing div somewhere in here. There's where the table ends. This is the panel ending. So where's this panel start? So yeah, it's all about just kind of getting your bearings. Oh, here's this panel ID. There's where the div ends. No, I'm sorry. So this is the ending div for the brokerage updates. Then we have the opening div for Broker Daily. Oh, okay, the div is the whole column. So this div is this whole column here. So there's going to be broker daily, lead distribution. There's going to be several of them, probably ending in quick links. So after quick links is where I'm going to see my closing div. So opening div, and then I bet you the last one is going to be quick links right there. Yeah, quick links, and then there's the closing div. Okay, so from that div there to the opening div there is this column here. Broker daily, lead distribution, event calendar, and quick links. So if we go back and we look at broker daily, we do have it right here. Here's the earth.io review and the YouTube link. Then we have up here, we have a brokerdaily.aspx as well. So let's see what's going on here. Why do we have both? So this would make sense to have this here. Oh, this is the view all. So when I go to here, view all, it's taking us to brokerdaily.aspx right there, and you can see that it's got the full history of all the streams that I've done, all the uploads that I've done. So brokerdaily.aspx is the page that has all of the links, and then just the ones that we show on the dashboard here are done in the dashboard directly. So we need to update both, essentially, is what we need to do. So we're using tables to do this. So we have a table that starts here, and then we have a table that ends it right there. I do not need all these extra spaces. That's probably there to help Susie kind of just see the section, make it easier to find it. Or maybe I did it at some point. But what we're going to need to do is we have a table row, which is a row of data, and then each TD, opening TD table data and closing TD slash TD, those are both, that's a cell. So every TD open and close is one, another column, if you will. So we're going to want to add columns here, right in the middle. So we're going to do TD, and we're just going to do test, and then auto gives us the closing TD. We're going to do the same thing all the way down here for all these guys, just so that we can take a look at what adding the second column does. So I did a Control S to save, and then an Alt B H enter to publish, and then it's going to publish down here. It's going to connect and then publish all the files, and then when it's done publishing here, when it's publishing, it just means it's uploading. So we just made a bunch of changes, we saved it, and now we're uploading those changes to the server, and that way when we hit, so here it's publish, 1 succeeded, 0 failed, 0 skipped. Alright, so now we can go here, and we can refresh the dashboard, and after I publish, it always takes a second. So, alright, cool. So we have this new column here. For some reason, it's put boxes around this cell. This is the column where, of course, where we're going to have our timestamps. So let's fix that. Okay, and because we have a style here, so our other tables have a style of border none, padding 0 pixels, that's the space around each cell, and then we have a text align. I don't think we're going to need text align, might be best center. I don't know, we can try. So let's just copy out the style here. oops, I better copy, actually I don't need to copy that closing bracket, I'll just leave the one that's already here. Alright, style equals border none, padding 0, text align equals center. Alright, so let's try this instead. I'm just going to copy it into the other spots to make sure, well, not to make sure, but just so we can get a consistent look at how it's functioning. And so, cool, Control S to save, Alt B H to publish, hit enter to hit the publish button. We are published. And let's go here, let's refresh the page, and cool. So let's throw some timestamps in here, see what the timestamps look like. So instead of saying test, let's just say 0, 0, 0. And that's the Earth IO review. And I know that there was a timestamp there. I'll come back to it. Let's just call it for now 6 minutes and 35 seconds. Let's say that that's how long the intro topic lasted for, from 0 to 6 minutes 35 seconds. And then here we'll just do 0, 0, 0. I didn't do the intro. Having an intro topic is part of the new plan. I didn't have intros in some of the streams I did a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Alright, so I don't like how all the numbers are so jammed up. It looks like I like a little more space between these two. So also I need to fix this here. Okay, and then I could do on the padding. Padding goes top right, bottom left. So we can do 0 pixels. Oh, it would be up here because we're doing this. So 0 pixels top, 7 pixels, 0 pixels bottom, 0 pixels left. I believe is how that code works. So if we do this, we should get a little bit more space between the date and, between the date and the timestamp. Make it a little bit more legible. I missed one here. Make sure I didn't miss any others. Okay. Alright, save, publish, and we're published. And so I'll actually open up a new tab so that we can compare them. So we have, that's our before and that's our after. So you can see how we create a little bit extra space between these two columns, before, after, before, after. Wonder where all this extra, there's a lot of space there. So let's take a look at where that's coming from. Right, now that's there. Top, right, bottom, left. Okay, so on this last table, we put 10 pixels of separation on the left column. So there's actually, to the left of this column, there's 10 pixels there. And then what we just did a minute ago is we added 7 pixels to the right of this column. So to make them equidistant, we should make it 10. So, and it doesn't matter if we're doing it to the right of the first column or the left of the second column. It is the same. So we don't have to worry about that. And save, publish, and we're published. And then we'll copy that and we'll go to a new page. Alright, so we've got how we started, the second version, we're looking here. So this is how we started, this is our second version, That's our third version. So this is nice and spaced out. Clearly this is the date. Here's a timestamp, and here's the larger topic. So the timestamp again denotes the ending time of the intro topic. So if I click, in fact, let's check this right now. So I'm going to go to this video, and this is from a week ago. Reviews, and we got those changes back from the production company, and so now we are back to do the second review. Earth Company first time would review it live with you guys so that you could try the water be part of the final. Okay, so I did not have an intro with the Earth video review there. Updates we did. More of a convenience. You'll also get the longer content, and I think it's a balance thing. $1 flat fee. So here's where I was talking about. This is where I was talking about what we're doing today. We have the timestamp. Sorry, we have the date, the timestamp, and then the primary topic. Here we talked about a moratorium on new agents until we get back to the equilibrium. Because again, our cap is 80 agents. We're a little bit above that now, so moratorium on any new agents coming in until we get that balance back. And then automated marketing, we talked about doing direct mail. Every time any agent gets a listing, there's some automated marketing that happens. So yeah, if you haven't seen this, go back and watch it. But it looks like people that listings most readily enable you to connect with are the. Okay, so I was doing flyer review. So that was the primary. I spent most of my time automatically. So once you've approved the flyer mailer, it's going to go to press, and we're going to receive the printed documents back. We're going to prepare the mailing, and we're going to take that mailing to the post office. So it's going to be key. And I know it's photo color. That, I believe, is it for this part of the automated marketing. That's happening now. And okay, so 4334. So I had 1, 2, 3 topics for the intro before I went into mailer review, and that lasted, the next hour and a half. So 4334 is the timestamp that we're looking for. So we're going to go to here, and we're going to change this one to 00 because there was no intro topic. That's what 00 is going to mean. This was 4334, long intro in that video. 4334, and then contract review. I don't think there was an intro there either. Sunday morning streaming a contract review offer to. Yeah, we went right into it. So I think then that leaving the rest of these zeros for now is fine, because I didn't have open house training. We went straight into it, straight into it, straight into it, straight into it, I believe. Let's check that Photoshop one though, just in case. For beginning of this week? No, it was last week. We were working on the agent books, which I'll open up here in a minute. But for right now, I want to figure out, we took a bunch of photos here of the Meridian office. So if you remember from the video last week where I was working on the agent books, we had added some new pages. One of those pages was to include the, to include the Meridian office in, okay, yeah, so this is a Dropbox. I'm using the arrow keys here to navigate. So we would allow a color here, open it in Photoshop, so I just made it all weird. If I get rid of that layer, I can see the original. So any changes I make to okay, yeah, no, I just went straight into Photoshop. So then, with that being the case, I'm going to leave everything else 0. I'm going to publish this. Save, publish, come back here. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so 4334. And then today, on 11/25, so we'll come up here, we'll copy this, and then we'll make it there. So today is, I'm not sure what the timing is. I'll check the video afterwards. We'll just put 5:45 for now, because I talked a little bit about that contract language, intended language versus actual language. So I don't know, that's probably more like 7:45. But I'll check the video afterwards, find the correct timestamp, and I'll come back and fix it. So it's 11:25, and we'll put a timestamp of 7:45, and this was, what did I call it in the dashboard post? Contract language discussion and doing some programming. So programming. Broker Daily. See if there's enough space for that. So save, publish, and it succeeded. And then we'll refresh. It's probably going to be too long. Nope, it fits. So let's actually check that fit. So I'm going to copy this. This is a website called quirktools.com, Screenfly. So if I did a search for monitor size simulator, and then this first result here enables you to pull up a website and then pretend like you're looking at it on a different platform. So this is the same dimensions as the monitors at the office, and so it does fit. Programming Broker Daily. Okay, so tune in, watch the first 7:45 for the secret intro topic, and then from 7:45 forward, you have the longer topic, which is Programming Broker Daily. Cool. All right, so that looks good. Then the next thing we need to do is fix the view all, so we get the same structure here, which I will do, but I will probably do that. There's got to be trying to think of a faster way to do that. I can just copy out the reason I'm hesitating here is we have that we added that pixel to the right side of the opening one, and so instead of doing that, what I can do is I can add it to the left side, top right, bottom left. If I put it there instead, then I only have to add this one line everywhere else. I don't have to make that second change as well. So I'm going to do that because it's just a little bit optimized from a time standpoint. It'll just go a little bit quicker because I'm just going to be adding one line of code instead of adding one line of code and changing another. So then this is just going to be the 0 picks on the top, the first cell, which is actually going to be the first column. Whoops, undo that. I highlighted too much there. And I got 2 more to do here. Boom and boom. Now that I've done that, let's publish again. Make sure I didn't mess anything up. Let's go back, refresh. And I did miss something up here because I've got funkiness. So let's go see what I did wrong. 0 picks, 0 picks. Okay, right in here. V. Oh, it's because it's Control V is what I messed up. There we go. That looks good. So if I save and publish again, wait for it to finish. Alright, it's done. Come back, refresh. Okay, cool. So it's all fixed again. And then, now that I've done that, all I have to worry about is this guy for, actually let me do the one that has 0 in it, for here. So there, 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 there. Let me save this and publish it really quick. Might get messed up because we have an inconsistent, yeah, because we have an inconsistent column count. I think what I'll do, just so I can get it right, is I'm temporarily going to, let's see, where did I've added 1, 2, 3, 4, so right until there. So I'm going to comment out this code, which is a bracket, exclamation point, and 2 dashes. So I'm just going to comment out all the rest of this all the way down to the bottom. And so I can test. Where's the last one? Table row. There's the table ending. I need to preserve that. So right here. So right here, we'll do the closing, which is 2 dashes and a greater than sign. So all that code now is commented out. And so all we have is the first 1, 2, 3, 4 items. Let's publish that. And then hit refresh. Okay, so now you can see that it shows up correctly. I do have a little bit more space there, probably because there's some built-in padding to the table itself. Let's take a look. So we have the table. I'll have to check that later. Because what it's doing is it's auto-spacing additionally to fill the table width. Okay, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. All that matters is that we know that when we get the columns the same, that life is good. So I'm going to go ahead and add in all these the new second column, which will take a minute here. This is the disadvantage of not being database driven. If this was database driven, whoops, if it was database driven, there would be one line of code, and then the program would retrieve the data from the database and would just replicate it over and over again for each entry into the database. Whoops, wrong way, right way. So this is a little bit more laborious right now, but it's quicker deployment. So that's the thing, is it's if you're not database driven, like we aren't in this particular area, it enables you to get it launched faster, but the maintenance takes more time. If you do go database driven, it takes longer to set up, but it's easier to maintain over time. So like the lead tracking is database driven, and we kind of have to, because it's kind of a volume thing, right? So this is, and it's also a new thing. I mean, Broker Daily was, what, 6 months ago? Lead tracking we've had for years. And so it just comes down to time to launch. So when I decided to do Broker Daily, I wanted to get it up quick, and so didn't bother doing the database thing, and that's fine. It's just that we're paying the price now and having to update this code line by line by line at 12:45 on the Sunday. But on an ongoing basis, it's really not that big of a deal, because every day you just come in and you add one section of code and update the data. So it's just the same as doing a database entry. So on a daily basis, this doesn't really take any more time. But when you have to fix something or change something, that's when you're paying the price. And that's the price that we're paying right now. So, but we're getting close, I think. Let's see, I think we have about 10 more of these, I believe. Let me just make sure I get it all looking consistent. It doesn't really matter, honestly, with code if I put it here or if I return a line. It's just more for legibility and manageability. But the code doesn't care, the line separations. We actually have all this code on one big long line if we wanted to. The computer sees it exactly the same way. So the carriage returns, or the returns, the enters, are just for our own ability to see what's going on. So let's refresh this page. And okay, you can see up here, oh, this is the ending close bracket tag. So we're going to go back to here, and then I'm going to go to, I'm in the right spot. I just got to get rid of this. We'll save that, and we'll publish again. And then we'll look at this, we'll refresh. So I've got investment property financial analysis wrapping, which, and I got other ones wrapping. So this text is wrapping here, and it's creating these extra lines, which I don't like. So we got to figure out why it's doing that. Top right, bottom left. That's fine. Top right, bottom left. That's also fine. Code looks good. I've got a style. I've got a quote that starts it. I got a quote that ends it. So all three of these columns are forcing themselves to be equal widths. so it's like 33%, right? So it's, but it's not. I was thinking that it's going to be 33, 33, so 3 columns, 1/3, but this is clearly like 40%. I don't know why. So that's 40% of the page. Actually, I could actually just do that, make it bigger. Like I could go 100%, save, publish, and then go back here. You'll see that the column now is the full width, and oh, 826. I wonder if that was causing us any problems. So there was one where I missed putting something in the middle, and that might be our issue here. Let's just do Control F. Okay. Yep, there it is. So we'll do that. Save, publish. Aha. That was what was causing all those problems. So if we go back to 40% now, when I say all those problems, I'm referring to some of the text wrapping and having some spacing issues. So if I just go back to the 40% column that we had before, and save, and publish, and refresh. Whoops, that was the wrong section. This should be 100%, and this should be 40%. And we'll save, and we'll go here, and we'll go there, and there we go. There's one text wrap there. Oh, because we have longer descriptions here than we do on the dashboard. So I can go back to here. We'll go ahead and make that 50%. And then we'll refresh. And now we have no text wrapping. And everything looks amazing. I do need to fix those times. So we did for updates and mailers 43:34. And I have a placeholder of 7:45. 43:34 and 7:45. Updates and mailers. 43:34. And then I don't have one there. Let me copy the new one that we just created. Whoops. This is the new one. Programming Broker Daily. We'll go back to here. We'll add the new one there. And 7:45. Cool. Then that's onto the master sheet. On the dashboard one here, because we added a new one here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So because we added one, we actually have 2 more, or we had one more here than we used to, which is fine. We have the spacing still works. So I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think before we had 7. And when we have 7, and there's a second event calendar item, it still works out space-wise. I'm just going to go ahead and leave 8 here for now. And then this should take us to our current live stream. Nope, that's the Earth live stream. So I've got to fix that. We'll put in this stream in both of them. So because I copied and pasted before, right? Whoops, let me get to the right spot again. Okay. So, because I copied from here, that's why it's funky. So we're going to put the correct URL here, and we'll save that. And we'll put the correct URL here, and we'll save that. We'll republish, and we will recheck. This should be us now. We'll recheck. Okay, it is, and we'll go here, and let's check that too. Is it? Okay, it is, and we'll go here. All right, cool. All right, so I think that's pretty much what we were looking for. I could go left justified on this instead of centered. I think it looks pretty clean like this. Okay, well that's it for tonight. Hope you enjoyed the intro topic. I hope you enjoyed doing a little bit of programming with me. And I'll be streaming again tomorrow morning. I've got to do a little bit more work on the agent books. I'm going to be putting together the steps for updating all the agent books so that we can go to press again. I did that before a couple weeks ago, but now I want to define the optimum steps so that we can update all the agent books in the most efficient way possible. So that's tomorrow. So until then, I am headed to bed. You guys have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk soon. All right, thanks, guys. Bye bye.